People, DG. Now, I just have some random thoughts, and it ain't gonna make much sense, but I'll say them anyways. Now, our next 5 games are decisive. We've been saying decisive at all moments in the season, but for me, we've approached the most important period. I told you, lot. For me personally, I look at the league in 3 to 4 stages, depending on how specific you want to be. Depending on whether you want to win the league, fight relegations, get top 10, get top 4, whatever, break into the top 6, whatever your ambitions as a club is. I believe August to December / early January, you just focus on your club. Obviously, you look to your left, you look to your right, you look above, you look below, seeing what other clubs are doing in terms of form. But the focus primarily should be getting full fitness, but winning your game, staying in and amongst the pack to give yourself, whether it's staying out of relegation, getting closer to 40 points, staying closer to the pack in terms of top 4, just getting out of that mathematically. In fact, mathematically is very vague, because I feel even to see sides that are not second or third mathematically can still win the league title. Realistic, you guys know what I'm on about. So once you get out of the December period, early January, from early Jan, you focus until March, April, in terms of just carrying on the form, winning games, getting over the line. It's not about playing pretty. It's just about 3 points essentially at this moment in time. Apologies for scratching my nose, people. I'm coming down with a bit of an illness. But yeah, then obviously when you get to late March, early April to May, it's a straight furlong now. You can't, you know what's going on, but you can't afford to look anywhere else. You need to look ahead and win your games. So with that being said, the next 5 games for me are the most important, purely because you look at it. We've got Southampton at home. On paper, you'd expect us to win that. You know, based on how we've been playing and based on just how Arsenal are, it's going to be a tougher game than what's suggested. If you just look at our last 2 games, two of the last 3 games, City, cool, we'll write that one off. But victories against Cardiff and Huddersfield, we've won and got over the line. But considering they're both in the bottom 3, it hasn't been a convincing performance. And on another day, both of them sides probably could have got something out of the game against us, which is not encouraging. So the last 5, they were a bit weird. We obviously had the great win against Chelsea as well. Technically, it would be. I know we played United within the last 5 games in the FA Cup, but I think technically we'd probably be looking at West Ham, So the last 5 games, depending on how you want to look at it, if you want to include the FA Cup or not, have been a bit shaky to say the least, and we haven't been playing anything near our level, to be fair, man, and it's a far cry from when we was 22 or so on games unbeaten. But the next 6, like I was saying, for me, people, I believe we need 15 points. We can take no less than 11. The games against United and Spurs are double points, in my opinion. Obviously, you get 3 points for every victory. They're 6 pointers. Spurs are going to get third, in my opinion. But if you beat Spurs, if you've taken points of a top 6 rival in regards to us getting a top 4, you've put yourselves in a good position. United resurgence is taking them very far, so we have to get points off them. We have to. It was a point both teams drew at Old Trafford. We have to get something out of that game at the Emirates, in my opinion. Wolves away, you'd expect us to beat Wolves, but again, they're going to make it tough. And our away, we've kept one. Wait, have we even kept a clean sheet away from home this year? I know Leno technically hasn't, so it's not really. I know our away form in general isn't the best. So I believe the next 5 games are decisive, man. We know we've got, obviously within these games there's the Europa League. It's a decisive period now. It's time to go on a run. It's time to win them 2 Europa League games. It doesn't matter how they do it, they have to win it. And it's going to, regardless of if you rate these players or whoever you rate or whoever you don't rate, or if you rate the manager or not rate the manager, whatever you bone to pick with anyone you have, the club has to pull together people, really, because these next games specific to the Premier League are decisive, man. In 2 of them are against the top 6 rivals. We could be out of it. I don't think we're going to get top 4 people, but we could be out of the shout completely after playing Spurs and United. I'm not too sure, but them games there back to back as well. So if they are, you could imagine the rest of the top 6 are going to be eyeing that one up as well, people, and seeing what can happen. Because not only is it double points if you win, for your opponents that aren't playing, it also helps them. Like you saw with us against City, we were in the top 4. Parity was restored after us playing City, and the other lads taking advantage. So I believe it's a testing period, and I believe whether you necessarily rate any of these players, Unai Emery included, we've got to utilise everybody in this side. It's going to be a testing period now. Now this will be. I know we're going to look back at the Brighton games and the Palace draws and the United draw for context reasons and several other games as to why we didn't get top 4 in May if we actually don't. But it's periods like this where it's sink or swim. It's time for people to pull their socks up, pull their pants up, unravel their knickers and show exactly what they're about, man. We ain't got time to be, pardon my language, sissies and a bunch of girls. People need to really roll up their socks, be men, and just have accountability, because these next 5 games, there's no excuses. And yeah, man, I believe seeing is believing. If they want to get top 4, they have to. For me, taking a point off Spurs and United isn't the worst of things, but I think we have to win them, in my opinion, just because of how the other sides are playing and how I think it's gonna pan out. I think we need to take 6 points off them 2 games, but the next 5, no less than 11, have to take 15. Because I was looking at it, what you take 3 off, you 3 off Southampton, that's 3, 6 off Bournemouth, that's 6 essentially. 7 for a point against Spurs, 8 for a point against United. Then obviously, if we can grab 3 points, wait, is my maths right there? 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's about that, something like that, man. I can't be bothered. But anyways, for me, you've got 15 points, man. We have to get 15 points. Would be the benefit. We can only afford, in my opinion, 2 draws out of that. In my humble opinion, man. I don't know, people, because I look at these games. For some reason, I'm weirdly confident about these games, especially the ones against United and Spurs. And I know you never see deluded saying that. I'm confident, but on paper, these games look favourable. In fact, even away from these 5 games, we've got some favourable games, but they're against some of these games are big away games, and there's no such thing as an easy game in the Premier League. So I believe this period for now is where we're going to have to really show our mettle, people, as a football club. And away from a football club, the players, whether they believe in themselves, whether we believe they're good enough or not, everybody needs to give up their optimum, their play to 100%, in my opinion. It's put up or shut up, man. And it's periods like this, if you don't get out of it within a decent sort of spell, you can forget about it. So, yeah, people, man. What was I going to say? There's nothing more to say, so I'm just going to get out of you lot's hair. That's just some opinions I had. People, deluded. Comment, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish.